Nobody warned Clara that life could be going fine and still feel like failure. She was 29 when it really started. Not with bad news, not with a breakup, just a simple question someone asked her at a funeral. They leaned close, lowered their voice like it was advice, and said, "So, when are we coming to eat your wedding food?" She laughed. Of course she laughed. That's what you do. But inside, something tightened because she knew exactly what they meant. You are running out of time. In Ghana, nobody needs to say it twice. Clara lived in Accra. She worked. She paid her bills. She helped her mother. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't lost. But none of that mattered because she wasn't married. Every Sunday became the same thing. People smiling too hard, aunties watching her like they were counting years on her face. Even prayers started sounding personal. Lord, remember our daughters who are still waiting, as if her life was on pause. At family events, conversations shifted the moment she joined. Somebody would mention someone's engagement, someone else would talk about how marriage calms a woman. Then they'd look at Clara. She felt like she had to explain herself even when nobody asked. The worst part, her younger cousin got married at 23. Engagement, wedding, pregnancy, everything back to back. People congratulated Clara too, not because she did anything, but because they assumed she was next. She should hurry before it's too late, someone said once. They didn't even whisper. At night, Clara would lie in bed and replay her decisions. She asked herself questions she never used to ask. Maybe she should have stayed in that relationship she left. Maybe standards were overrated. Maybe love wasn't that important. Pressure does that. It slowly convinces you that your boundaries are the problem. That's how Michael came into the picture. Michael was safe. Everybody liked him. He had a job, a car, and the kind of confidence that sounded like authority. Her mother liked him. Her church liked him. Her aunties loved him. Michael also believed that women talked too much and men deserved patience. When he said things like, "Marriage is endurance," people nodded. Clara didn't love him, but she was tired of explaining her life. So when her mother sat beside her one evening and said, "I'm not getting younger," Clara heard what wasn't said. "This isn't about you anymore." So she said yes. The engagement was beautiful. Kente, music, photos, people hugged her like she had passed an exam. Finally, they kept saying, finally, like she had been delaying on purpose. Marriage didn't stop the pressure. It just changed the questions. Now it was pregnancy. Every month, every conversation, every prayer. When nothing happened, people stopped asking gently. Her mother started calling more often. "Have you gone to the hospital? Did they check everything? Are you praying enough?" Nobody asked Michael anything. Then, one night, Clara overheard a phone call. Low voice, careful tone, a woman's name she didn't recognize. When she asked him about it, Michael didn't panic. He didn't apologize. He sighed. "Why are you making this thing big? You know all men do something." Something. She reminded him about the hospital visits, the waiting, the looks she got, how the blame was already sitting on her shoulders. Michael shrugged and said, "You are the woman." That sentence stayed with her, because suddenly she understood the real problem. This marriage wasn't shared. The cheating would be his mistake, the shame would be hers, the childlessness would be hers, the endurance would be hers. So when Clara packed a bag, it wasn't because she was angry. It was because she was tired. She told him she was leaving. Michael laughed and said, "You know what people will say, right? That you couldn't stay in your husband's house." She knew. She knew society would point fingers. She knew they'd say she was impatient. She knew they'd say she allowed another woman enter her marriage. She knew they'd say she should have endured. And for the first time, she didn't care, because staying was slowly erasing her. When she left, people talked. When she stayed quiet, they talked more. Eventually, the calls reduced. The concern faded. Society moved on to the next woman. That's when Clara learned something nobody teaches you. Society doesn't want your happiness. It wants your obedience. The moment you stop performing, you become invisible. Sometimes she still wonders if things would be easier if she had stayed, if enduring would have brought her peace. But then she remembers how small she felt in that house, and she chooses herself again. Because somewhere, right now, another woman is 29, sitting at a family event, laughing at a question that hurt her, and she's being told without words that her life has an expiry date. So, let me ask you, is time really running out, or are people just afraid of women who refuse to disappear quietly?